suppose my question is, how difficult is it therefore to be able to have a robust and meaningful analysis of the cost of reaching that 5% by 2040? Because unless you can actually put a cost on it and have those programmes, then how meaningful is the targets?
I agree. I think the targets have to be costed and they have to be resourced. And I think there are several organisations that have made estimates around this already. Energy Action Scotland, what was Consumer Focus, I think is now Consumer Futures. These organisations have done quite detailed research. Citizens Advice Scotland have also looked at this around what programmes cost, what energy efficiency improvement measures will cost, what the likely packages might be that households might need to take them out of fuel poverty or protect them from going into fuel poverty. I think the work is out there, and I think it's important to kind of draw on it because I agree with the statement. I think the strategy and the ambition, without saying this is what we think it will cost and this is how it needs to be resourced, is only a fraction of the story.
That's my point around financing. The strategy needs to be clear on the biggest elephant in the room. How much is this going to cost? But where's this money going to come from? And it can't come from customers' bills.
And organisations such as Energy Scotland have argued that you would have to double the existing budget. Yet the financial memorandum is fairly light on that. What's your view on that?
In our view, we thought it'd be more helpful for the bill not only to set fuel poverty targets, but also to set minimum energy efficiency standards, and ideally for either in the bill or in subsequent documents for there actually to be costings and then estimates of how that was going to be paid for. I think the bill is light on that.
The memorandum states that an indicative overall cost for meeting the targets would be similar to the cost of delivering current programmes. And it's difficult really to get an informed view on that when I think the strategy and the energy strategy says that we're going to be relying on as yet undeveloped technologies to do that. So it's difficult to give an informed view on that. I would probably say that eradicating fuel poverty has been a target for the Parliament throughout its existence, more or less. But we're still at a situation where a quarter of our population is fuel poor. So it's fairly clear that existing resources and doing more of the same is probably not going to be sufficient.
It's a real challenge in private housing in particular in terms of the essential repairs, non-traditional stock, low incomes of owners and the complexity of mixed tenure projects. The challenges of them together, coupled with the need for a bit more detail on cost it's a challenge.
I mean, how difficult is that? I know that for personal experience I have highlighted a case in Parliament a number of times where I visited a house when I was out campaigning in Paisley, and the lady told me that the difference in her heating bills was something like 25% of her income to under 5% of her income. And in terms of her child's health, the child had been, where they lived in the damp house, had been regularly having chest problems and in hospital. So we know the absolute benefits, but how difficult is it to assess the costs and the benefits, both in terms of the benefits to the individuals, but also the economic benefits that could come to the country in terms of the jobs, the skills, the training? How difficult is it to estimate all that?
I think it maybe is a complex task, but I referred earlier to a report Citizens Advice Scotland published in 2014, and it was written by Cambridge Econometrics, and it, and I suppose in broad terms, but it said actually if you were looking at ways of investing government spending, then energy efficiency targeted at fuel poverty was one of the most effective ways for the reasons you've set out there.